All right, today, woke up, we spent roughly $14 on ads. No sales, unfortunately. Well, we're still populating the pixel, trying to get data on the pixel, and quite honestly, our store still has to learn, or should I say the pixel still has to learn, what kind of customers are we serving. In the meantime, we don't even know if the category of products that we're testing works. We had the bot throw up the ads, import the products, and now there's some micro things I have to do, such as optimizing the importation process because just the import skill was 40,000 characters. That's a lot of tokens. And if you're using a small model, it's going to burn through those tokens, lose context. And imagine if you're trying to do hundreds of these products in a matter of days. That's a lot of token burn. It's a big cost. And quite honestly, it's just going to ruin the memory. So my goal today is kind of to strategize and think through how can I optimize these really long skill files with very specific processes that I need done in a specific way. And on top of that, as I'm monitoring the ads, how can I maybe set up some cron jobs or some sort of monitoring processes by the bot where it knows to be like, okay, hey, every 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever, check in on the ads. Do you know what I mean? Now, every store is kind of different. Strategy here may work differently compared to another ad account. So I think the best way in the beginning is to have a human in the loop. So basically me looking, monitoring, and basically telling the bot, hey, this is what you should look out for. This is what you should do. Look at it at these intervals and so on. In the meantime, there's a few other things I want to touch on. Today, I also want to touch on Minimax, the model. We're going to see if it's better. So it could be worse, it could be better, who knows, but we'll find out. And yeah, just wanted to give a quick little update on what we're expecting today. I think a way better option than, I don't know why it took me so long to work with all these models, especially if I want to be testing with OpenClaw, is to modify the config and then just use a tool like OpenRouter rather than prepaying credits being locked into a certain AI provider that you may or may not like, and also forcing yourself to pay all these credits. I think it's just better just to use OpenRouter because I was doing research for Minimax 2.5, GLM 5, I believe, and there's a few other, I think also DeepSeek, they released a new version recently. There's a few of these providers I want to test and see that make the most sense for what we're doing here, but we're currently testing Minimax 2.5, loaded up some credits, and we're just going to see if it can execute the product here. What I'm trying to do is configure this product successfully, so this is all we currently have for it. And right now it's just going to develop the actual product page template and complete it from there. So what I did was I broke the scale in half because it was an extremely long file, and I just want to see if this AI will be able to execute a couple imported products way better than Kimi 2.5 did, because I noticed it was hallucinating, saying some BS, and quite honestly just creating a lot of frustrations for no really good reason, you know what I mean? So I think it's just a matter of testing. I think in the future, what I can do is I can have delegated brains for tasks. So the main agent, it could be something specific, maybe a specific skill or something. It can have a certain agent to do that. So we'll see, you know what I mean? I don't want to overcomplicate all this stuff right off the bat. It doesn't make sense to do all that. But just some thoughts I have running. All right, guys. So first use of Minimax. So I told you I split the scale in half for 2 phases because of long context chains. So we'll see if this makes it any better. I actually got that idea from Opus. Now I'm going to refresh the page. Product is currently unlisted. We're going to see if it did anything here. Okay, so immediate impression, it knows what to do. But the problem is I don't think it used the image correctly. So I got to circle back to this and refine the prompt. Figure out why it did that. Everything else seems correct. Theme template seems correct. We're going to go to view and look at this shit. On the first prompt, it knew exactly what to do for the second part. The only problem here is just the image. I'm just wondering. I feel like I've seen that 9 to 5 description thing across all the products. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just like a hallucination or something to fix. But seems solid overall. What do you guys think? Now, I'm going to continue probably refining this shit. So it could just be one prompt. Like, you spawn the agent, you spawn the task, and it's just done. You know what I mean? The only thing I have to fix here is obviously the image. I don't know why the hell it did that. So we're going to find that out right now. All right. I think there's one thing I definitely want to improve on, and that's with utilizing agents more, because one of the bottlenecks right now with this claw thing is when I'm using it, I can't talk to you know what I mean, because the main thread there is already taking up bandwidth and space to do the task it's supposed to do. And right now I'm just researching agents and sub agents and how I can launch them. I tried launching a sub agent before to do like the product importation. So when they spawn in these isolated environments with their own context, their own memory and stuff like that, I suppose it's way better. But I guess what we have to do is, just from some research, you have to give them their own sole document, maybe some sort of memory file, maybe some sort of environment variables, and things of that nature. So I think this can also improve how I'm doing these product importations, because if they have so much context, I don't think the main agent is going to be optimized for that. Because if we spawn 5 of these at the same time and they're all basically using a fresh slate model to do their thing, that's the key thing here. They all have fresh slates. And I think that's going to significantly improve the workflow. So when, say, the master agent spawns 5 of the same exact agents, it's just going to have perfect product importations versus the main agent doing it itself. But I think it really comes down to giving it enough context, enough memory, and enough. We just want to make it specialized towards one thing. I think that's sort of like a mental shift I want to be taking, because I mean, we're learning here OpenClaw and all these use cases of how we can pretty much reconfigure it to fully run an autonomous store at the same time, live. And the thing about that is I'm just trying to figure out more unique ways and ideas I can implement the Clawbot better, so it actually does its thing. So I just want to show a quick thing right now. So right now I'm using Minimax 2. I'm using OpenRouter. I think I mentioned that earlier, but Minimax 2.5, testing it. And this is a product I imported, so I didn't refresh it yet. I mean, earlier it did an okay job, but something messed up here, because I've been battling this whole import product scale thing for quite a bit, and I'm refreshing it. I'm going to see if it actually did a good job for the configuration of the actual product. So definitely still needs some work here from what it was like before. It missed some things. Let's see if I can view it. And this was all in one single prompt, by the way. Okay, clearly it messed something up here bad. So gotta refine it. You know what I mean? We're still not there yet, guys. We're still not there, but we're gonna get there at some point. It's getting way closer. It's like a hit or miss right now. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because of Minimax or if it's because I should be using Kimi instead. I'm not sure. But we're still getting there. We're refining it. But that's kind of like the status update here. In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out how I can spawn sub-agents to do the work more effectively that way versus how it's doing it all here. So we'll see. Okay, I think a big reason why my bot was tweaking, sometimes I just couldn't read the skills, was because the way my directories and I guess the config inside of OpenClaw and the actual the actual directory was set up. So I didn't see all these different kinds of agents before properly here in the UI. And at some point I even switched it to another one. And now same thing with skills. So now skills, they're properly configured because I created a subdirectory and then a subdirectory of skills. And then I guess you can say the the bot wasn't preloaded the skills right away. So this is a huge unlock, and I think it's just going to make things a lot smoother versus how it was before, because I think it was something happening where it was trying to fetch everything together, you know what I mean? And I was going back and forth between prompting and stuff like that. But now that this is properly configured after just looking through some of the docs on OpenClaw, and believe it or not, if you actually read the docs, it makes a massive difference. I didn't read it before, I just kind of rushed into this. But I wanted to sit down while AutoDS was tweaking. I couldn't import products and continue training the AI to import the products exactly as I wanted. So instead, I kind of just got into the OpenClaw UI. I just wanted to kind of mess around more and understand it better. Fixed a few bugs, fixed a few skills that weren't eligible. It said it was blocked, and then actually added, and I think I strengthened it even more. So just some little updates like that into the process. But right now I'm just waiting like an hour or so after talking with support with AutoDS to import more products, because the one thing about the software is it'd be tweaking and it doesn't allow me to import the products whenever I want it. You know what I mean? Sometimes maybe in one session it'll be working, but then a couple hours later it's not working, or maybe the full entire product information is not working. So it's just like this constant back and forth battle between these products. And I mean, it's kind of a problem, you know what I mean? That's why I'm not really a fan of AutoDS. But waiting on that, and in the meantime, I am creating a product research agent. So I want to see if I can get a product research agent properly configured, give it its own workspace, and just set it up properly. So then I am delegating more tasks from the main orchestrator agent and then allowing these little sub agents to put in some work. I don't feel I'm comfortable yet doing it with the product import agent because I have to refine it, but we're getting there. And I think this is a pretty interesting unlock, at least in milestones I've been tracking and working with for this ecom agent. All right, we launched the sub agent. We launched the sub agent. It's out there doing its thing. And now we're just patiently waiting. We're just waiting to see what it's going to say back. It's going to deliver the deliverable. No, honestly, right now, the way these deliverables are, it's not the most user-friendly way. So I'm thinking, what can I do to make it more user-friendly in terms of how it's presenting me this information? Because building out a platform and all this shit, you know what I mean? It's like all this extra work. But I mean, it could be fully automated, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I can figure it out. I can just code it up, whatever. So I'm just thinking, does it make sense to prioritize that right now? Or just honestly look through the files and that's it. But I think right now I should just probably get the stuff working so it understands the methodology, and then make everything pretty at the end. So it's very user friendly. Because I see a lot of people, you know, when they're using like these agents online, they're, you know, creating all this UI, all this additional stuff. And it just makes you question, is it even necessary in the first place to have all that built out right away with no real use case scenario where it's actually moving numbers and doing something? I'd rather just prioritize my time to prove this concept works. Once it works, then from there we can be like, okay, hey, I think now it makes sense. Why don't we make this a little more user-friendly? So right now we're just waiting for the agent, finding 3 products. I already have a decent set of products here. Still waiting on AutoDS to fix the issue here with the importation. Not good, honestly. It's annoying. I've been kind of blocked by that, but I've been doing other things, diving deeper into sub-agents and stuff. And right now, I already have a whole line of products I can easily just test and engage with. Right now, there's no sales, honestly, from the ads we threw up yesterday, but we're just waiting on the bot here for more research. And I think right now the play is just to really refine the potential sub-agent for product importation, see if maybe I can delegate subtasks of importing things to the agent, or maybe there's another way I can go about it. You know what I mean? So like the main agent isn't overinflated, but we'll see. You know what I mean? I just want to kind of see how this guy's going to handle his thing before I do anything with any imported products. All right, we're just going to call it here for now. There's a few things I'm blocked by. Sub agent, there's some configuration issue with this, so I have to get down to that and figure out what the hell is wrong with that. Other thing is I have to wait for the import for the auto DS thing to get fixed by the team, because right now, quite honestly, none of the products are being imported, so I literally can't edit any products. In the meantime, we'll probably just do some more research, monitor the ads, also reduce some of the prices of some of these products that I did have, because quite honestly, I don't think the value is there for what the nature of the product was, right? And quite honestly, they were significantly cheaper on the supplier platform. Maybe that will get us a sale by tomorrow, or maybe even by the evening, who knows. But yeah, that'll be all for now, and then we'll resume tomorrow.